Well, hello, D-Roy Cruz here, your life applications officer. I got so many atheist videos on this channel, I'm going to change everything. I'm probably going to delete some of my atheist videos, and I'm probably going to change the mission statement on my channel, because between mocking and making fun of atheists and apologizing to atheists, kicking them, slapping them, spitting on them, body slamming them, and and then asking for an apology. I have to change the name of this channel. My Christian friends are getting around and coming to visit my channel, and I had one guy that visited my channel. My pastor visited this channel, and he was just, he didn't want to make a comment because he knew, like, the way I express my feelings about these things is controversial. It's not the, what I'm saying? Like, I think what I'm going to do is, after I get done with all the stuff that I wrote down that I have to do yet, probably about somewhere between 2 and 4 more videos, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do, instead of just going straight at atheists, I'm going to talk about things that affect the world that we live in, and I might even delete some of my atheist videos because I got too many of them. It's ridiculous how many I got. I guess it's because it's entertaining to talk about it, because just when you think that you understand just how foolish someone's excuse for hating others can be, it goes from sad to just hilarious. Just like, the reason why I'm saying this, because I feel like I poured out my heart to you atheists in the last video, or one of the last 2 videos I did. And now I look at my comment section and it looks like I just divorced somebody. I mean, a really bad divorce. Like, who are these people? Like, well, it was only a couple of them. One of them wrote a novel, and I had to tell them, look, man, if you want to write a novel, get your own channel. I'm not reading all that. Okay, look, I don't make videos to read a novel. If I want to read a novel, I'll buy The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, okay? And I don't own none of them books because, that's the difference between me and atheists. If I don't believe in something, I'll stay away from it, okay? But these atheist videos I do because atheists are constantly attacking Christians, and I'm just calling them out. I'm not calling them out on what they believe, because atheism is in the Bible. You are allowed to believe that there is no God. It's natural to have people that believe in many gods or no God at all. Both of those are in the Bible. Both of those are the same thing. There's only one God. And if you don't believe in Him, what do you believe in? Okay? And there's a part 2 to the video I did on, there's a part 2 to this one that I'm getting ready to do. But look here, atheists. We're not in a divorce. You ain't my type. I didn't marry any of y'all. Okay? And you're not my type. I'm not interested. You can keep your trying to finish where we left off. I don't recall where we left off. You know what I'm saying? Whoever I'm with now, I'm with. I don't even remember being with you. Go find yourself a new boyfriend or a new husband. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Don't come to my comment sections, talking to me like we used to be married, because we weren't. Go find yourself. I know, even though all y'all are in support of the LGBTQ thing, which, as much as I respect LGBTQ people, y'all defend LGBTQ more than they defend themselves, so I can't take you seriously. Okay? So, that's my take on that. Now, why am I not an atheist? Everybody has a why I am not a Christian, or why I left the church, or why I'm an atheist, or why I gave up my Christianity, or whatever video. I figured I'd throw mine in there, being we're on a roll here. Okay? Figured I'd throw mine in there. The first and foremost reason why I'm not an atheist. Now, maybe if atheism came to me maybe in 1990 something years old. I'm sorry, in the year 19, maybe say 88, 89, because at that time I was really angry at God. I was a backslider. If I had met an atheist where I was going to school at that time, maybe I would have got sucked into this cult. Okay, but I've never had a visitation from atheism or atheist. I've never had it. I've never seen an atheist extend their hand to me and show me some form of love that the church couldn't give me. The church, like whenever I got to the bottom of where I stood with the Jehovah's Witnesses around me, and the Mormons and Muslims and different people, there was no love, just argument. And then I've had even Jehovah's Witnesses, like young Jehovah's Witnesses that were brand new, who would, the stuff that they were learning in Kingdom Hall, they would threaten me. Like, I would tell them, well, I don't understand where you say this is this, and they would actually threaten me. But, none of them showed me the love or the respect that I was given in Christian churches. And I was born and raised in a black church. But I was also taught in a white church as well that was affiliated with the black church. A lot of predominantly white churches, and I had friends who used to take me out of the ghetto and take me all over Pennsylvania. And, I've learned that as a Christian, anybody can get along with anybody if you got the core principles intact. Anybody can learn to live with anybody if you have the core principles intact. And the difference between Christians and those that call themselves Christians because they have a belief system that is not satanic or atheist, The difference between us and them is that we have the same code, and we're not like atheists where I have to teach everybody the same thing. It's just it's almost atheists would call it magic. We call it prophecy. We call it prophecy. We call it the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit. When Christians come together and boom, we all say the same thing. Now, when atheists say the same thing, they got to read books and listen to all these atheist gurus to say the same thing. But when we say the same thing, it's totally spiritual. Like we don't know each other from Adam. We show up at the same place. We show up at the same place, and the next thing you know, we're saying the same thing. We're in agreement with each other. Everything lines up. Okay? So, like I say, there was never a visitation from atheism. There was no atheists around, even to argue with at that time. There was just no visitation from atheism. I think that if you had introduced yourself to me in one of the struggles in my life, like I said, maybe I would have joined your cult. But it was the Christians that reached out to me with open arms and showed me love. Even though they didn't know me, they didn't trust me. You know, when I was backslidden. And the thing is, I could go into a racist white neighborhood and the church people would look at me like I was crazy. But when they seen that I was sincere about wanting to know the Lord, we were all a family that quick, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they trusted me and they, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, I got people who just, you know, trusted me. Okay? And it's just such a beautiful thing in the Lord. Like, there's no racism. Like, we have our utopia. Atheists are trying to have one. We have our utopia. I mean, we have the only utopia that you can have on earth. Which there is no really any utopia. But we have the best community when you really separate the lumps from the cream. You know what I'm saying? When you separate the negative from the positive. I mean, we have the best community. The fellowship of Christians, believers, joining together, different denominations, even, and many, many different fellowships within the same denomination. I mean, I've been around, the best white people that I've ever known, and the best black people, and the only black people that I really, really, really been able to trust. You know how I am about black people. Have been in the church. They were not atheists, that's for sure. They were not Muslims. They were not, you know, now don't get me wrong. There's people in the church, like I said in the last video, there's always going to be Judases in the church. There's always going to be Hitlers in the church. Okay? But the initial church family, okay? The initial house, we are the best. We are the city of refuge. We are. We are the city of refuge, not only for us, for ourselves, but for the world. Now, religions, you know, false cults like atheism, or militant atheists, I should say, they want to abolish our community. But the truth is, we are the city of refuge, not only for them, not only for us, I should say, but for them. We are the city of refuge, and that's what people face when they walk into a church. They don't walk into a church because they found evidence of God. They walk into a church because they know wherever the evidence of God is, okay? It ain't the devil. It ain't out here in this world. It ain't out here in it ain't in alcohol. That's not God. Even though they call it wines and spirits, God is not in the liquor. He's not in the marijuana. He's not in the sex. He's not in, money. And this is why people come into the church, because they've met a humbling experience in their life, and they realize they've come to that brick wall where they know that there's nowhere else for them to go but to the Lord. And once they understand that, that's when the lights come on. Sorry, atheists, but the lights are in our corner. Okay? We are running an electric bill here. These are not in order because I was listening to another video I did and I deleted it. I just wrote them down as I was watching the video. This isn't number 2, but it was the second thing I put on here. I am a miracle is the second reason why I'm not an atheist. Because everything from me being an epileptic vegetable when I was a kid, where the whole church came to the hospital to pray for me. And they prayed for me and had faith that I would live and not die. I'm supposed to be dead according to my doctor's diagnosis, but I'm alive. Not only am I alive, but I was able to escape mental retardation. I was able to escape seizures. And I was able to escape a chronic nerve damage that was moving through my ears like a cancer. Now, I've lost my right ear through the chronic nerve damage. I still have my left ear. Okay? So, you tell me there's no God, cry me a river, go speak to the wind, because I know there's a God. And after I was old enough to pray for myself, I prayed myself and prayed and prayed and prayed until the pain went away. I prayed and prayed and prayed until the fear and the anxiety went away. Okay, I didn't go out and shoot myself with a drug or go and drink myself into health. I called on the name of the Lord and He heard my cry. I am a walking miracle. Okay? I am a walking miracle. Number 3 is my experience learning about Jesus. And it does not call for evidence or physical attachment of any sort. This is where I come at the atheist from a different angle than apologists would, because, when there is injustice done in the body of Christ, or in those that would be part of the body of Christ, we Christians are on the same page as you atheists are. We're like, okay, put that knucklehead behind bars or put him on death row or whatever, but he needs to be punished. When we hear about what's going on in the Vatican, and when we hear about some of the things that are going on with these TV evangelists and so-called prosperity preachers, everybody's a prosperity preacher. I don't believe that. I believe prosperity comes with being a preacher. Okay, it's not that everybody's a prosperity preacher. Whether you're a thousandaire or a millionaire, prosperity comes with being a preacher. I just, You know what I mean? Like, I've been, you know, I've been paid to get up and run a revival and things of that nature. So prosperity comes with being a preacher. Okay, it's not that everybody's a prosperity preacher, but some people, they do preach prosperity. Why do they preach prosperity? Because the church ain't preaching prosperity. That's why they preaching prosperity. Okay, if everybody preached about prosperity in context, there wouldn't be no prosperity preachers. So, you know, I mean, you gotta shed light on where it's really at. Okay, but my experience in the church is that, you know, my pastor and I are both Pentecostal. But we are only Pentecostal where Pentecostalism has a point. But we are Christians. You know, it's kind of like you're going to high school. Some people go to Peabody, some go to Westinghouse. I went to Brashear. Brashear was outside the ghetto. Okay? And totally different type of school. There must have been one fight the whole 4 years that I was in high school. There must have been one fight in my high school. Never a bomb threat, never a shootout, never, you know, not even a fire drill. We didn't even have, you know, there wasn't even somebody smoking. You know, I mean, there was these people, these kids were so uptown and so well behaved, you know. And it's the same way with churches. It depends on where you go to church at. I mean, you know, we're not all part of the same code of aggressive beliefs. Let me say that again. We're not all part of the same code of aggressive beliefs. We're not all radicals. I'm radical about one thing. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Okay? But other than that, I'm meek. I'm humble. I try to be anyway. There is no us trying to take over and force anybody into our religion or anything like that. People leave the church. I got a lot of friends that left the church and started their own thing because they were under this arrogant idea that they could do better. And they went out there and they did worse. Okay? If you're in a good church, you stay in that good church and you separate yourself from what you feel is wrong, but you eat up that which is eatable, that which is digestible, that which is good for you. You take it, and when you leave the church or get mad at God and backslide and walk away, or you reject the church or whatever, however you want to put it, you're always eating the grapes and spitting out the seeds. Nowhere can you go where everything is just perfect. So even in the church, I'm learning that in the Pentecostal church, I've eaten the grapes and spit out the seeds. Baptist church, eat the grapes and spit out the seeds. I even found some good in the Methodist church. Eat the grapes, spit out the seeds. Presbyterian, eat the grapes, spit out the seeds. It ain't got nothing to do with all of us are doing this because the Vatican is doing it. No, it's not. Matter of fact, the Vatican is the spearhead of a lot of stuff, but really outside the Vatican, even these Catholic churches ain't doing half the stuff that these atheists are accusing them of. That's an old wives' fable. Okay? This was 2018. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. If I listen to Jacqueline Glenn, she'll show me where the latest event of child abuse coming from a Catholic priest might have been last night. Okay, he might be right. I don't know. But I know it's not like it used to be many, many, many moons ago. Okay, I just know it's different. Okay? But, you know, I learned so much by being born and raised in the church. And when the young people were out there, shackling up with their boyfriends and girlfriends, and the men were getting them some tush, and women were out there, trying to be, grown, trying to be ladies, okay, before they were girls. I was still in church. I was the only young person in church, up under my pastor, learning that I don't need everything that there is to offer in this world, because it's not all good for me. And like the Apostle Paul said, I will not be a slave to anything. And that is why I don't drink, I don't gamble, I don't practice fornication. You know what I'm saying? I skip a lot of lovely ladies that I could be with, because they don't have the same love for Jesus that I do. I miss out on a lot of things because of the love that I have for Jesus Christ and my dedication to his calling. Nowhere in there does atheism fit the dogma, what they say about Christians. I swear to God, cross my heart, so help me God, I'm telling you, nothing that atheists say fits the description of the average Christian. It may fit the description of some religion over here and some religion over here, and some denomination, some made up denomination that just don't nobody know what that is. Private denomination way up in the back road somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Some cult. You know what I mean? But the average community of Christians, most of us have the same spirit. The Holy Spirit is working among us. There is none of the stuff that we read in Christian, or should I say atheist propaganda. None of that stuff fits or points out what really goes on, in the house. It talks about what went on years ago, and if those things had been effective, just like slavery here in America, if those things had proven to be effective and just, they would still be doing them today, regardless of what you think about it. They'd still be doing them today. They're gone because they were a problem. And I'm going to say this again, I've said this 100 times. Atheists don't care if I say this because I'm a Christian saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway. When it comes to injustice, it doesn't matter to me whether it's done by a Christian, an atheist, or someone else's religion, or a cop, black, white, whatever. Injustice is injustice. And it should be punished by law. And it doesn't change just because we're Christians or because we're atheists, for that matter. Lawrence Cross should be under the same scrutiny as Bill Cosby. Okay? Ravi Zacharias should be under the same scrutiny as if I were to do something like this in the presence of my church. But I believe Ravi Zacharias is innocent. I believe he's so innocent, he don't have a clue what they talking about. Okay? Bill Cosby knew at least one person that they're talking about. Okay? 30, you tripping. Especially a black man? Way back in the 70s? Are you kidding me? Somebody drinking and dreaming at the same time. It didn't happen. We didn't know black men sleep with all them white women, poison all them white women to get in their panties way back in the 70s. Then again, like Joe Rogan said, what was it, opioids or preludes or whichever one it was, that was natural back in the 70s. People loved to take them. So he feels that Hopefully, they're not condemning Bill Cosby for something that was naturally part of the culture back in the day. You know. Let's move on. Let me get to the last two. Number 4, these are not in order, by the way. This should be the last one, but number 4 is love. Again, when I read my Bible tells me to love my neighbor. Okay? Even tonight, I had to address an employee, and he immediately, like Atheists, jumped to the gun and said some things that he knows aren't true. How can they be true when I'm never there? We never see each other. So to say I always got something smart to say to him, which if I want to address him about the policies and procedures, that's my job to do so. Just like if I want to have a different opinion about this world and a different opinion about science, evolution, sexuality, men and women's roles and children and whatever it might be. I'm a born again veteran Christian. That's my prerogative. If you don't like it, don't even come to my channel. Because that's what I am. I'm a veteran born again Christian. Okay? If I want to say that something is right or wrong within my culture, it's right and wrong. Doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you think about that. Just like it doesn't matter to me or to you that you don't believe in God. Okay? In your culture, that might work for you. It doesn't work for me, like I'm telling you right here. It don't work for me. Atheists ain't did squat for me. Neither has this so-called science that supposedly proves the non-existence of God. Neither has it brought anything into existence. Let me say that again. The so-called science that proves the non-existence of God has never brought anything to an existence, never created anything. It can't even stop an earthquake. It can't stop a hurricane. And something's always evolving in evolution. Okay? I'm waiting on $1 million to evolve on this table right here. Pull that miracle, and then we'll talk about evolution. Because God ain't giving me $1 million. Give me $1 million. Evolve $1 million to this table. Maybe I'll become an atheist. How about that? See, you're doing a lot of talking, but you ain't creating nothing. You ain't evolving nothing. You ain't fixing anything. You sitting there saying, well, the sciences, you know, what if 5 different earthquakes go off at the same time? What if, what if a flood comes in 5 different countries at the same time? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, something could come out of the sky right now, a comet, or an asteroid, could come, and several of them could come down, and boom, we're done. And then you want to believe in aliens and all this stuff. Where are these gun rooms, these secret rooms where you're all ready for this alien thing to land? I don't believe them. I believe it's a trick of the devil, some way, shape, or form, somehow. But are you ready for an alien attack? Okay? Which I don't believe is going to happen because it's not in here. It's not in here. So I don't think it's going to happen. But, you know you're not ready for an alien attack. Green men start coming down here shooting the place up. What you going to do? What you going to do? What's Sam Harris gonna do? What Matt Dillahunty gonna do? You gonna blame it on Christians? We don't even believe in that nonsense. So how are you gonna blame it on us? What are you gonna do? You creating stuff and making up stories that you ain't ready for. I'm getting off the subject. But love, I love you. I really do. I love you, atheists. That's why I've made 100 videos kicking your butt, not taking you seriously, mocking and laughing at you. Okay, spitting in a can. Okay, having conversations about toilet paper and poo-poo and all that when I talk about atheists. Okay, because I love you. I really do. I love you, especially when you come on to my channel and leave these long, drawn-out messages. Why do you think I got my own channel? I got my own channel so I don't do that on your channel. Make these long, drawn-out messages. I did that one time, then I said to myself, you know what? I need to start getting my own YouTube channel. Okay? And it has been the best thing I've ever done as far as you knuckleheads go. It's very entertaining. Better than watching a movie. But love is a very universal language, even on a secular level. And seriously though. And love, there's God's love, which we call agape love, and there's a love between a man and a woman. And there's a love between parents and their children, and there's love that we have for animals, and love that we have for other people's children and babies and things of that. But when I read the Bible tells us what creates love and what tears love out. And it says, because iniquity will abound, the love of many will wax cold. And that is referring to the atheist nonsense that's going on, the LGBT community. And I watched a video today where teachers are killing their students now. Students are beating the crap out of their teachers. Bus drivers are beating up on autistic children. Autistic children are doing things that are out of control and crazy. Okay? And people, teachers, and students are doing sexual crimes that are gay and lesbian. Okay? And you wonder why I'm a Christian. I'd rather be a Christian and not an atheist. Because my Bible has an answer. Atheism and the government, they just have rights. Well, we'll just give them some more rights. They have rights. Everybody got rights. You know, you got a lady on there talking about pedophilia. She's trying to make a right out of that. Now, people want to have a right to marry their mama and their baby sister and you know what I'm saying? You know. And then you got daughters and mothers having lesbian relationships together, and they posting this stuff. They want rights for this stuff. Okay? And then you wonder why I'm a Christian. And no matter what the government does, atheists will follow through. If the government say today, we will govern and justify moms and their daughters being in a relationship together, we will begin to modernize and legalize incest. What are the atheists going to do? Yay! Our rights! Get rid of the Christians! You know? Yeah, you're right. Get rid of us. Because I'm tired of being here. I'm ready to see my Jesus because I know ain't none of this nonsense going on in the New Jerusalem. I'm ready to see Jesus. Okay? I'm ready. Get me out of here. Beam me up, Scotty. I'm tired of this world. I was tired of it when I was a teenager. Okay? Didn't make me rape anybody. Didn't make me commit suicide. Didn't make me hate anybody. Didn't make me, you know what I'm saying? But it did make me think. Did make me think. Last but not least, the reality of human living. Again, that kind of goes right back in the topic I just went off chart about. There is no scientific understanding in reality. You turn me against science and evolution. Well, I never believed in evolution. We made fun of it when we were studying it. Okay, we thought it was a joke way back then. Okay, now they added all this new stuff to it. It's even a bigger joke. You want to make a movie, make one about evolution. That's better than the atheists making all these movies about characters in the Bible. Stuff that just resolved from nothing. And then all of a sudden the ape comes out of the mix, and then this ape starts making humans. But the apes and the humans can't dwell together in the same environment. Please. Meanwhile, people are dying of cancer and diabetes and all these different things. Okay? Again. But what's Daddy Ape? Shouldn't he be doing something? Shouldn't he be helping out some kind of way? See, there's no science. This is not science. This is not science. There is no science for the LGBT community. It's against science. It's against nature. And as long as atheists fight over that, like it's the top main thing in their mission statement, get out my face, okay? Because you know you a lie. And as long as you hold on to that, like they need you to put them on a pedestal like that. Guess what? Don't talk to me about morality. Okay? Don't talk to me about morality. You're not moral. Okay? The reality of human living, only God's wisdom has the answer. Okay? Oh, sure, atheists can go to college. They can be smart. They can, and these kids coming out of colleges today, they're so ignorant. I mean, they're heartless. You know what I'm saying? They are heartless. I mean, kids run me over in the street. You know what I'm saying? College kids run you right over. They're so busy looking at their phone and they run you right over. And when they run you right over, they look at you like it's your fault. Dude, you was looking at your phone, you wasn't paying attention. Same thing if you get on the bus. You ask a kid to move his feet, he gets offended. Dude, there's 20 seats behind your foot. You can't move your foot for an old man to go in and have a seat? Oh, but see, you're a college kid. You're real smart. But yet, somewhere in the midst of you being smart, there is no love. There is no mental ability that tells you should let the old man have a seat. Move your daggone foot, because the bus ain't your bus. You're just one passenger on that daggone bus. But that recollection don't go in the head of a lot of these college students. I guess we got to go to church to get that. But anyway, I'm closing. Thank you for watching. The reality of human living, only God's wisdom has the answer. You ain't got the answer. I'm sorry. It ain't happening. So that's why I'm not an atheist. Maybe I'll do a part 2. I don't know. We'll see. God bless you. Thank you for watching.